3 minutes.
The gentlelady from Ohio is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, and I would like to thank Congresswoman Jackson Lee not only for yielding me time, but for all of her scholarship and all of her commitment to making a difference against sex trafficking. Today is a proud day for me, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to stand here on this House floor to urge the support in the passage to allow states and victims to fight Online Sex Trafficking Act, known as FALSA, as well as the Walters Amendment. Human trafficking and sex trafficking is happening in all areas, big cities, little cities, rural, suburban areas, Democratic districts, Republican districts. It happens in every congressional district in America, regardless whether that district is red or blue. Trafficking, Mr. Speaker, is a nonpartisan issue, and that requires bipartisan solutions. And if Congressman Poe was still here, I would add, and that's just the way it is. I am so honored to be joined today with so many colleagues, and I also want to thank Congresswoman Roby for her leadership in managing the time. And what an honor it is for me to join the leadership of Congresswoman Ann Wagner, not only the sponsor of this bill, but a friend, a colleague, someone who is my classmate. And early on, she started talking about human trafficking, and we shared our mutual interests. And we have been, so to say, joined at the hip ever since. And I could not thank her enough for all of her leadership. Mr. Speaker, it tells you that we must work together. Congresswoman Wagner has done that with this legislation and more, so I am very honored to be the lead Democrat. You've heard what fighting Online Sex Trafficking Act will do, so I won't go in great details with that again, but I will tell you it will address a critical problem. Our laws have not kept pace with how technology has been used to exploit the innocent. The internet has changed how humans are trafficked. It is taking something that was once done in the streets and made it easier and more anonymous. Trafficking online is a well-documented problem. Yet we have seen a few websites turn a blind eye, even as they profit on the buying and the selling of children, women, and men. FALSA will help solve this in many ways, as you've heard. On this last point, I'd like to say FALSA is targeted in a way that will not only affect websites engaged in online trafficking trade, it will recognize some of the concerns that some of the tech communities initially raised. But I think that the process that FALSA has gone through in the Judiciary Committee and now with the Walters Amendment shows how the legislative process can be used to result.
Gentlelady's time has
I yield the
expired.
gentlelady an additional minute.
Thank you.
Gentlelady's recognized 1 minute.
It shows how the legislative process can be used to result in a better product. The bill now has the support not only of the trafficking victims advocates, but it also has law enforcement and many of the internet and tech companies. So again, I thank the hard work of Congresswoman Wagner, and I want to say we won't solve the problem of human trafficking overnight. But if we get this bill signed into law, we will make it harder for traffickers to exploit the innocent and keep countless children, women, and men out of the cycle of abuse. Thank you again, and I yield back.
The gentlelady yields back. The gentlelady